Welcome aboard, everybody. Dr. Peter Clinton here, your steadfast advocate for health, checking it out one more day live in the studios, bringing to you and to yours and to your listening audience the truth about medicine and how it is practiced, how it is dispensed, and the theoretical foundations of the different types of medical practice that exist in the world of today. It's important that we, pay attention to our ancestors. It's important to pay attention to where we came from so that we'll have a sense of where we're going. So tomorrow, mark your calendars well right now, and do not miss tomorrow's show. Tomorrow, as my exclusive guest for the first hour, one of the fathers of modern-day naturopathic medicine, the founder of Bastyr University, my alma mater, Dr. Joe Pizzorno. Dr. Joe Pizzorno, quite frankly, is perhaps, although he wouldn't admit it, the main reason, the linchpin to the growth, survival, and proliferation of naturopathic medicine in the 20th and the 21st century. Dr. Joseph Pizzorno, if it wasn't for the work that Dr. Pizzorno did, I would not be here. And we're giving honor and respect where respect is due tomorrow. Do not miss tomorrow's program, my exclusive interview with Dr. Joseph Pizzorno, the father, undisputedly, of modern-day naturopathic medicine. Do not miss it. This from the Organon of Medicine, the homeopathic textbook of medicine written by Samuel Hahnemann about 200 years ago. The physician's highest calling, his only calling, the physician's only calling is to make sick people healthy, to heal, as it is termed. This is a very fundamental foundation principle of homeopathic medicine. Quite frankly, it translates through to all aspects of holistic medical practice, whether it's acupuncture, whether it's chiropractic, whether it's traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, herbalism, naturopathy, or whatever. The physician's highest calling, his only calling, the duty, as it were, of the physician, is to make sick people healthy, to heal, as it is termed. It is not to weave so-called systems from fancy ideas and hypotheses about the inner nature of the vital processes and the origin of diseases in the invisible interior of the organism, on which so many fame-seeking physicians have wasted their powers and time, nor does it consist in trying endlessly to explain disease phenomena and their proximate cause, which will always elude him. Nor does it consist in holding forth in unintelligible words or abstract and pompous expressions in an effort to appear learned so as to astonish the ignorant, while the world in sickness cries in vain for help. And whom amongst us has not heard that stance exemplified by the MDs? I want to read that paragraph once more. The physician's highest calling does not consist of holding forth in unintelligible words or abstract and pompous expressions in an effort to appear learned so as to astonish the ignorant, while the world in sickness cries in vain for help. Surely by now we would have had enough of these pretentious fantasies called theoretical medicine, which the MD is famous for which university chairs have even been established, and it is time for those calling themselves physicians to stop deceiving pure human beings by their talk and to start acting instead. That is really helping and healing. The highest ideal of therapy is to restore health rapidly, gently, permanently. To remove and destroy the whole disease in the shortest, surest, least harmful way, according to clearly comprehensible principles. If the physician clearly perceives what has to be cured in a disease, in each individual case of disease, If he or she clearly perceives what it is in the medicines which heal in each individual medicine, if he or she applies in accordance with well-defined principles what is curative in medicines, and what he or she has clearly recognized to be pathological in the patient, so the cure follows, i.e., if the physician knows in each particular case how to apply the remedy most appropriate by its character, prepare it exactly as required and give it in the right amount, and repeat the dose exactly when required. And lastly, if in each case he knows the obstacles to cure and how to remove them so that recovery is permanent, then he knows how to treat thoroughly and efficaciously and is a true physician. How many true physicians exist in the world, ladies and gentlemen? Less than 1,000 in my estimation. You want a perfect example of this? This from my own book, The MD Emperor Has No Clothes, which you can download for free right now. Go to freedoctorbook.com, freedoctorbook.com, and you can get this book in a PDF form. If you want it in a soft cover like this, then you have to go to drglidden.com and order it through the store. But we're giving it away for free because it's such important, powerful, impactful information, if I do say so myself. And yes, oh yes, I do say so myself. Here's a perfect example of what Dr. Hahnemann was talking about. In 1995, I had an office in Massachusetts on Cape Cod. I was practicing naturopathy, exclusively using homeopathy, and had a small but robust patient base. One day, a husband and wife brought their 9-year-old daughter in to see me. She had been diagnosed with a condition called reflex sympathetic dystrophy, which is fancy schmancy doctor talk, right? Designed to make themselves appear mentally superior and make the patient and the family of the patient feel mentally insecure and inferior, so that the patient and the family of the patient is more likely and liable to follow the advice of the physician. Reflex sympathetic dystrophy is a curious neurological condition that is supposed to be incurable. She had it in her legs, and her experience of the illness was that if you touched her gently on the leg, it felt to her as if you had just hit her with a hammer. Not fun. She had been treated at Children's Hospital in Boston for a number of years, and after everything was said and done, all they could offer her was painful physical therapy, which she had about once every 4 weeks. To make a long story short, I took her on as a patient, analyzed her case, and gave her 3 doses of a homeopathic medicine made from a plant called Arnica montana. All of this, by the way, happening in the great state of Massachusetts, my state of origin, which to this day, even after 25 years of legislated effort, even to this day, the great state of Massachusetts does not recognize, nor regulate, nor support the practice of naturopathic medicine. It is not illegal to practice naturopathic medicine, but it is in a gray, illegal area, even after 25 years of legislative effort. The total cost of the medicine that I delivered to the little girl was $10. That's $10. That's $10. But now for the good part. In 3 days, it completely cured the condition, and I am choosing my words carefully. Being only a few years out of medical school at the time, I was a little taken aback by her rapid recovery and counseled her parents to just wait a few weeks to see if her condition would relapse. It did not. The cure was permanent. It was awesome. One of the most remarkable cures I've ever witnessed myself in my own private practice. This was years before I met Dr. Wallach. A few weeks later, she excitedly went back to Children's Hospital in Boston for her monthly physical therapy treatment with her parents. Because her condition was so rare and because Children's Hospital is a teaching facility, every time she was there, she was seen by an attending physician and about 10, 11, 12 students. Well, if I was taken aback by her recovery, they were dumbfounded by it. They asked her parents what they had done differently for the child to get such a remarkable result. When her parents told the doctors, MDs all, that they had taken their daughter to a naturopathic doctor who had prescribed a homeopathic medicine, they all got up and left the room. They did not want to hear it. And not even one of them called me to discuss the case. How professional is that? How compassionate is that? How open-minded is that? A licensed, regulated physician, someone working outside of their wheelhouse, cures an incurable condition right in front of their eyes that they had been unable to produce an effect for over 3 years of treatment, and they didn't want to know about it. There ought to be a law. Well, there isn't, because in the wonderful world of modern-day Machiavellian, monopolistic, MD-directed, medieval medicine, it's good to be the king, and the MD is the king. The MD is the exclusive banner holder for all things medical, and it is illegal. It is illegal to practice medicine if you are not an MD. This is the sad state of affairs that we are in here in the United States, ladies and gentlemen. You need to kick up your knowledge base, because as God is my witness, what you don't know about medicine, what you don't know about health and healing, what you don't know about the orchestrations of the body and the body's inherent healing ability and the action of drugs thereupon in the body and the philosophical orientation that the MD brings to bear on the treatment of disease, will kill you or heal you. Either way, you need to step up your game and get on board the learning curve here. Get on board the learning bus. Quite frankly, there's no better way to do it than this book, if I do say so myself, and I did again, and I will continue to. FreeDoctorBook.com, FreeDoctorBook.com. Pick up your free copy today, right now. What are you waiting for? Get your health back. Is free good? How's free? Is free good? I like free. Stick around. Going to the phones when we come back. You know, it's quite a startling revelation. Remember that time when you were, I don't know, in your 20s, maybe it happened in your teens, when you all of a sudden discovered that your parents were people too, just like you, and that your parents were, people, right? They kind of came off of the parent pedestal, and you had the insight that they were just people, just like you. Remember that? Remember when you had that realization, that breakthrough? Remember when you were first starting to learn how to ride a bike, right? Remember, and you'd get on and you'd fall off, and you'd get on and you'd fall off, and you needed the training wheels, and you needed the training wheels, and you'd get on and you'd fall off, and then all of a sudden, something clicked in your brain, your body, mind. You got it. All of a sudden, you could ride the flipping bike. Well, that's a breakthrough. That's a realization that was present at one moment in time, which was absent in the previous moment in time. And once you've had a realization like that, a breakthrough like that, it's with you for the rest of your life. You could, once you get how to learn to ride a bike, you could get off of that bicycle and not hop on it for 80 years. And you'd get on the bicycle 80 years later and you'd be able to ride it, because you don't forget that type of stuff. You don't forget when you have a breakthrough. Breakthroughs enable us to have access to the information in the universal mind, which is in the zone of the stuff that you didn't know you didn't know. When you have access to that information in the zone of the stuff that you didn't know, so far outside of your reference range, holy smokes, I didn't know that. Well, that's when you touch the hem of the garment of truth, and truth is truth is truth. 2 + 2 in base 10 mathematics was 4, even back in caveman days, before they had any conceptual awareness of mathematics at all. 2 + 2 has always been 4, and 2 + 2 will always be 4, because it's a universal truth. Well, there are universal truths regarding medicine and the health of the body, or the lack thereof, and there are falsehoods about medicine and the health of the body and the lack thereof. When you align yourself with the truth of things, everything becomes crystal clear. And this is why you need to get this book. This is why everybody in the flipping planet, on the flipping planet, needs to read this book. And I'm giving it away for free. Dr. Glidden's freedoctorbook.com. Just go to free, F-R-E-E, D-O-C-T-O-R-B-O-O-K, FREEDOCTORBOOK.com. You can download the book in the PDF form, and you can read it, at your browsing pleasure. Knowledge is, in fact, power in this regard. And I like to think that this book is chock full of little breakthrough nuggets of information, right? And it is. If I do say so myself, it's not a New York Times bestseller novella, but it's good, fundamental breakthrough knowledge delivery. It's a breakthrough medical knowledge delivery system. It is. Because it will allow you to kind of look to see through clear lenses once and for all, and understand it and get it. Just get it. You'll get it. You read this book, you'll get it. What the MDs are trained in, what everybody else is trained in, what the MDs are good at, what everybody else is good at, and why everybody in this country is sick. Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. You need education. Everybody needs a breakthrough. Who doesn't want a breakthrough? freedoctorbook.com. Stick around. Kathy from Florida is up next. I'm Dr. Glidden. Let's talk to Kathy in Florida and see what's up. Hey, Kathy, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. Thanks for taking my call.
Hey, Kathy, what part of Florida are you in?
Right in Clearwater.
Oh, very nice. Lucky girl.
Yes, very nice down here right now.
I bet this time of the year it's almost perfect, huh?
Yes, it is. I wish it could stay this way all year.
Yeah, well.
Then everybody would be down here then, right?
Yeah, well, that's what it's like in San Diego, I have to tell you. We just got back from San Diego a couple days ago, and man, it is just awesome. I think maybe the only drawback to San Diego is that you might get bored with all the good weather that you have all the time, for goodness sake. Oh. But I digress. How can I help?
Okay, I have been on the longevity for quite some time, maybe about 8 months, very seriously. My problem is sleep. I get so tired. I go to lay down, and next thing you know, I feel like my eyelids are blinking inside my eyes, and I'm tossing and turning. And when I do get to sleep, I usually wake up about 2 o'clock, and I don't get back to sleep. And then I have to get up at 5.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I get it. It's sleep's a really vitally important thing, and getting your body in step with its circadian rhythm is a pretty important deal. I did an entire webinar about sleep. It's so important. It's available on part of my insider subscription service. If you go to drglidden.com, become an insider. We give you a 7-day free trial period, by the way. You'll have access to the webinar that I did on sleep, plus about, 75 other webinars that I did. I encourage you to check it out if you haven't already, but I'll give you the short answer right now, okay? So, how tall are you and how much do you weigh?
I'm 5'7" and 135 pounds. Okay,
and which type of calcium are you taking?
Actually, I'm taking a CalMag from a nutritional store with the GMP label.
Yeah, and see, that's the problem right there. And I have to tell you, I've lectured about this extensively even before I aligned myself with longevity. Nutritional supplements are not all created equal. It's just like wine, right? I mean, they're all made from grapes, but there's a great deal of difference from bottle to bottle based on too many variables to predict, or, chicken soup, right? Not all chicken soups are created equal. It's the recipe that's the thing. Well, it's the same with nutritional supplements, especially calcium. An average over-the-counter calcium supplement, which says 500 milligrams of, calcium citrate, 500 milligrams of calcium carbonate, whatever, per capsule, will yield approximately, now this is an approximation, 15 milligrams of absorbable bioavailable calcium a day, which means in order for you to get your nutrient needs met, you're going to need to swallow about, 80 of those a day, 80 a day. So it's important that we take the right recipe of nutritional supplements, especially because this stuff isn't covered by insurance. It's out of the pocket, hard money, that we have to spend that we normally would spend on something else because medical insurance doesn't pay for it. So if we're going to spend hard-earned money on nutritional supplements, we need to lean towards the best ones, the best recipes, which are the most absorbable. And this is where Youngevity shines. I mean, no kidding. Youngevity's liquid calcium is 95% bioavailable. It is the most absorbable calcium I have ever seen. And I've been doing this for 25 years. I used to work for a nutritional supplement company that only sold to doctors. So I know quite a bit about the kind of inside track of vitamin manufacturing in the United States. And Wallach's Youngevity's liquid calcium far above any other type of calcium on the marketplace. So when it comes to helping the body fall asleep, we need calcium. We need calcium. It's vitally important. Now, calcium is one nutrient, and in the holistic understanding of the way that the body works, we don't just give a lot of calcium, right? We give the 90 essential nutrients, all 90 plus a little extra calcium. And when we do it that way, especially if the calcium's in an absorbable recipe, we get really awesome results from it. So the recommendation for you would be 1 bottle of Cal Toddy per month and 1 bottle of Beyond Osteo FX per month. 1 bottle of each. 1 bottle of Beyond Osteo FX liquid and 1 bottle of Cal Toddy liquid per month. Now, in the morning, I'd like you, please, to do a half an ounce of each in a little bit of citrus fruit, a little bit of citrus juice, which is easier to find in Florida than a stick on the road. Citrus juice is everywhere in Florida. Orange juice, orange, pineapple, I don't care what you do. Half an ounce of each of the Cal Toddy and the Beyond OsteoFX and a little bit of orange juice, so 1 or 2 ounces of orange juice or citrus juice. Drink that down in the morning before breakfast on an empty stomach. Now, before bed, I'd like you to do 1 ounce of each. I'd like you to do 1 ounce of Beyond OsteoFX mixed with 1 ounce of the Cal Toddy with a little bit of orange juice or a little bit of pineapple juice. And I want you to swallow that immediately before you go to bed. And I mean immediately, man. Throw that stuff down, brush your teeth, and go to bed. And if you do that for 7 days in a row, I will eat my hat if you don't start sleeping through the night. Calcium is of maximum importance here, but you just haven't had the right recipe. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Could I just squeeze a little lemon juice in there?
Oh, yeah, no problem. As long as it's citrus, because the acid in the citrus juice makes the calcium much more absorbable. It's perfectly absorbable anyway, but, it's kind of like fanning a fire with air to make it grow brighter. Well, that's kind of the same deal when you take the calcium with the citrus juice. It just increases the absorption of it. And look, do me a favor, Kathy. After you've done this for 7 days, call me back on the radio and tell me what happened, okay?
Oh, okay, and I can just mix them together with the lemon juice and just swallow them right down.
Yeah, no problemo whatsoever.
Thank you so much. You'll hear from me next week.
All right. I'll look forward to it. You can thank me after it works. I appreciate the trust anyway. Let's go to Texas now, from Florida to Texas, and talk to Cindy. Hey, Cindy, thanks for the call. You are live.
Hi. Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome.
I have a hiatal hernia and an esophageal hernia.
Okay.
And I've been on the product for about almost 7 months now.
Great.
I have idiopathic peripheral neuropathy, so I'm on OxyContin and Topamax.
Yikes.
For my neuropathy.
You know why it's called idiopathic, by the way?
Well, because they don't know what the source of it is. I have diabetes on both sides of my family, my mom and my dad.
Yeah, but you know the real reason why it's called idiopathic? Because it was an idiot that made the diagnosis.
Probably so.
Well, here's the deal, right? Let's think this through. And I'm so happy that you called, Cindy, and I'll walk you through this from start to finish. But, right, I'm a holist, right? I'm holistically trained and through and through, and this carries forward into many different aspects of life. So we need to take a step back, take a breath, and take a look around and see what's really happening. You've been paying hard-earned money for medical insurance premiums every month for probably, 20 years, a long time, in order just to gain access to medical help when you need it. Well, you need it. And the medical help that your medical insurance gave you access to put you in the hands of a system, a school of thought of medical, which is the MD allopathic school of thought, that has no idea whatsoever what caused your illness, and they have no idea whatsoever how to cure your illness, but to make themselves seem important to you and seem, more educated than you so that you're going to follow their advice, they call your condition idiopathic peripheral neuropathy, right? And it's like, ooh, doctor, I thank you very much. I just thought I had pain in the feet, for goodness sake. Now you're telling me I have idiopathic peripheral neuropathy. Oh, I feel so special. It's Sjogren's idiopathic peripheral neuropathy. That's what it is. It's Dr. Humbug's idiopathic peripheral neuropathy with an extra case of, Schoenfeld's disease on top. Oh, doctor, you're so fantastic. I genuflect at your intelligence every day. This is how we've been socialized to believe, right? So, you give these people money every month just to gain access to their skills. And then when you get access to their skills, they let you down. And this is the state of affairs of medicine in the greatest country in the world. And this is why everybody is sick and suffering, because of incompetence like this. I mean, for goodness sake, they're clueless about what causes it, and they have no idea whatsoever how to fix it. And these are the people now that the government is mandating us to pay every month to gain access to. And it's just insanity on steroids, for goodness sake. How long have you been dealing with this pain?
Since 2000.
14 years.
Yes.
That's a long time.
It's a very long time.
I know, right? Well, by the way, diabetes is not genetic. There's no gene that codes for diabetes. We decoded the entire human genome about 10 years ago. There's no gene that codes for diabetes. And if diabetes was genetic, I mean, didn't Darwin teach us that it was survival of the fittest, and that, it's the strongest people in the herd survive, right? So if heart disease or arthritis or type 2 diabetes or idiopathic peripheral neuropathy or whatever were in fact genetic, then shouldn't there be less and less and less and less and less of it every generation? Because the people with those genes would be deselected from the herd. They'd die off and, be consumed by the jackals, right? So there should be less and less, but in fact, there's more and more and more and more of it, number one. And number two, if type 2 diabetes was in fact genetic, we wouldn't be able to fix it. And we fix it all of the time. I mean, I can't change the color of your eyes. That's genetic. I can't change your sex. That's genetic. But if I can, in fact, change something with a medical intervention, then that argues that it's not genetic. There's a great big disconnect in this country about, medical thought. And when a medical doctor utters the word genetic, most United States citizens kind of cower in intellectual fear, because they don't know anything about that, and it seems way far above their pay grade, and so they genuflect at the altar of the MD and let the MD do whatever they want to them, even though it doesn't work and it ultimately bankrupts them. We all need our heads examined. Stick with me, Cindy. I'll dial in protocol for you when we come back. Let's get back with Cindy in Texas and walk her through what she can do to get on the comeback trail. Cindy, are you still with me?
I am with you.
Okay, great. So you have idiopathic peripheral neuropathy, and you have an esophageal hernia and an abdominal hernia. You got anything else?
No, that's all right now. I'm having a lot of nausea and pain with this, and I've seen the gastrointestinal doctor, and he did a scope, and he sent me to the surgeon.
Yeah, of course he did, yeah.
The surgeon last year fixed hiatal hernia because it was causing a lot of GERD. Well, now it's back. I had a virus about 6 weeks ago, and the amount of vomiting caused this hernia, supposedly.
Okay, good. So there's a technique that some chiropractors do where they're able actually to go in and manually pull down the hiatal hernia. You know what a hiatal hernia is, right?
Yes.
You know, the stomach sticks up above the diaphragm a little bit too much, the top of the stomach. Well, you can actually pull that down with manual medicine, and that's not a bad thing to do. There's also a physical technique called the Bowen technique, Bowen, the Bowen technique. Just do a Google search for a local practitioner who's versed in the Bowen technique. They may be able to non-surgically put this back in place, right? And it's always better to have a non-surgical intervention than a surgical intervention. Sure. Right? So that's what I would do there, but we have to, kind of understand what else is going on from a holistic perspective, because as far as I'm concerned, everything is connected. So the idiopathic peripheral neuropathy, the tendency to get hernias, they're all connected. And there's probably a bunch of other symptoms that you've just gotten used to. You had read GERD before, which are also into the mix here. And they're all different arms of the same octopus, the octopus being chronic, undiagnosed, undetected, and untaken care of nutrient deficiencies. So have you taken any of the Youngevity products or any nutritional supplements to deal with this so far?
I have taken the digestive pack for about 6 months now.
Okay, and did you get any relief from that whatsoever?
Yes, and I've taken the Sweeties, and I found significant relief in my pain, believe it or not. My pain used to be at like a level 8, and it's gone down to about a level 5 or 6.
Boy, you got to love that. So that's the idiopathic peripheral neuropathy, right?
Right.
Okay, so there's a couple things that I would do if I were you to kind of up the ante here and to see if you can get more bang for your buck. And remember that healing is a process, right? It's not an event. And as long as there's slow and steady improvement, every 4 weeks you feel a little bit better and, that things are improving and your sleep is better, your mood is better, your energy is better, the pain is knocked down another notch. That's a good thing, because that means we're headed in the right direction. Time is your best friend, and really it's just a matter of time until your body rolls all of this stuff out and away. So my recommendation for you, what's your body weight?
145.
Okay, so here's what I would do every month, and I only have a minute left in this segment, so you're going to have to write quickly. Okay, here we go. One Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 Liquid, one of those. The Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 Liquid, one of those. 2 bottles of plant-derived minerals. 2 bottles of plant-derived minerals. 1 bottle of glucogel at the 240 count. 1 bottle of glucogel at the 120 count. That's 1 bottle of glucogel 240, 1 bottle of glucogel 120. 3 bottles of Ultimate Selenium per month. And 1 bottle of Cal Toddy per month. 1 bottle of Cal Toddy per month. Eliminate the 10 bad foods. I know you've done that. Continue to do that. Follow those recommendations. Find a practitioner of the Bowen technique. And give me a call back in about 4 weeks with a report. I will look forward to it. Bonnie in Wisconsin is next, folks. Stick around. Let's go to Wisconsin and talk to Bonnie. Hey, Bonnie. Thanks for calling. Thanks for holding. You are live.
Thank you for taking my call, Dr. Glidden.
What's up?
I was calling about a urinary tract infection with bleeding. I have cramping in the lower abdominal area and the back area, and then I have pain in my right leg from the upper thigh to the bottom.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you register as a Democrat, it'll all go away. At least that's what I've been told.
Oh, no.
Got you there, Bonnie. I got you. I bet you didn't think I was
We're
going to
in the suburbs of Milwaukee.
I got you. Okay, so you know for sure it's a urinary tract infection, or you think it's a urinary tract infection?
Well, there's been some burning,
When you urinate?
I've never had a urinary tract infection before.
Yeah.
But There's been some like burning there, and
All right. Well, here's what you can do in order to know, because it's kind of important that you know, and you don't want to avoid the MDs at all possible turns. So go to CVS or Walgreens or someplace, and you can buy a little urinary dipstick over the counter, which will tell you whether or not there's infectious stuff in the urine. And so you buy this little jar of these little sticks. And then you take it home and you read the instructions, and they might even give you a little sterile plastic thing in with it. You pee into a cup, you get one of the sticks, you stick the stick into the urine for, 15, 20, 30 seconds, whatever it says on the directions. You pull the stick out, and the stick has these different colored little squares on it. And depending on which color the squares turn, that will give you an indication of, what's going on with the urine. One of the indications, of course, would be the presence of bacteria in the urine, and that would be an indication that there is, in fact, an infection present. So that's what I would do, just to see whether or not. It could be something else. Probably is, but it's a down and dirty, inexpensive way to kind of home diagnose yourself, and that's kind of a good habit to get into, right?
Okay. There's one other thing is I've thrown up maybe 5 or 6 times, but it's been like...
Do you have a fever or chills?
No. It's been spaced out a long time, like maybe like last week I threw up, and then maybe last month I threw up. And after I went to eat, I came home. I came home and I had an apple later for a snack, We sliced it up and shared it. Went and took a warm bath. Went to lay down, and I had to get up and throw up.
Well, that's interesting.
So that's happened a couple of times. I've had the dry heaves twice.
Well, it's probably because it was a Wisconsin apple. If you had a Michigan apple, that probably...
Yeah, I know. Okay. You're good.
Okay, well, look, here's the deal. We need to know, okay? Now, if you do the urinary dipstick and there's nothing in there that speaks of an infection, then this is something else. Okay. And there's the abdominal pain is a tricky wicket. It's a sticky, tricky wicket because there are so many nerves down there that you can get phantom pain in different parts of the abdomen caused by things that you wouldn't normally expect. For instance, everybody knows and everybody's taught in school that if you get pain in the right quadrant, the right lower quadrant of your abdomen between your belly button and the little bump on your right hip, that's probably appendicitis because that's where your appendix is, more or less. Well, you can have pain on the left side of your body or all the way around the left side of your back caused by appendicitis. You can have pain down your left leg caused by appendicitis. So the abdomen is a tricky thing to just go by signs and symptoms alone, subjective signs and symptoms alone, as to what's really going on here. So with strong and persistent symptoms like this, we need to know what the heck it is. It's probably an infection. But the urinary dipstick will tell you that. Now, here's what I would encourage you to do if it comes back positive, all right? If it comes back positive for an infection, I want you to go to a Whole Foods or a health food store and get a homeopathic remedy. Have you ever taken a homeopathic?
I'm new to this.
Okay, good. So in the vitamin section of a health food store, there's going to be a plastic shelf. And on the plastic shelf, there's going to be about 100 little tubes. They're about as big as a lipstick container. And I'm holding one up if you're watching the video stream right now. This is what it looks like.
I'm just listening.
Okay, well, it's a little tiny tube, about as big as, your pinky finger, more or less. And inside the tube, it's usually a blue tube. There's going to be about 100 little white medicated pellets. And the tubes are arranged alphabetically. And just tell the clerk of the store that you want to see the homeopathic medicines. They'll know exactly what you're talking about. They'll bring you right to the shelf where they're dispensed, all these little tubes. And I want you please to find the tube that says Cantharis on it. That's C like Charlie, A, N like Nancy, T like Tom, N like Nancy, C-A-N, T like Thomas, H like Harry, A like Apple, R like Roger, I, S like Sam. Cantharis. Cantharis. Now here's how I'd like you to take it. And this is if the dipstick comes back positive for, or urinary tract infection. To take inside that little tube, there's about 100 little tiny white medicated pellets. You want to pop 2 of the pellets on your tongue every 2 hours while you're awake for 1 day. 2 pellets under your tongue every 2 hours while you're awake. Take at least 5 of those doses. Take at least 5 of those doses. Maybe you can get 3 in on 1 day and 2 in on the next day. In 24 hours, if this is a correct, if this is of assistance to your body, then you're going to feel a remarkable difference in the pain that you're experiencing in the abdomen within 24 hours. The homeopathic is either going to work or it's not going to work, but it's inexpensive and it can't hurt you. And the properly applied homeopathic medicine for acute illnesses is awesome. This is the first, second, and third thing to do when you think or that you have a urinary tract infection. Now, Are you taking any of the longevity supplements yet?
Well, yes, we did. We purchased several of the products.
And
but when I started showing up,
are they sitting on your shelf, or are they?
Well, I was taking them, and then when I, when I started showing up, I thought, well, what good is this? So I thought, let me talk to
the expert.
The expert, right?
So what the heck did you call me for? For goodness sake! All right, good. So
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So yeah, I've got that Z Radical. I got that the BTT plant derived.
All right. So what's your body weight?
160. I've lost 25 pounds.
Okay, let's hope you never find those again. That's a really good thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. So have you eliminated the 10 bad foods?
Absolutely.
All right, that makes you the smartest woman in the great state of Wisconsin. I'm going to give you a great big Dr. Gluten round of applause right now. Thank you very much.
There you go. Thank you.
My applause button doesn't work. Otherwise, we'd be hitting it hard. So here's what I'd like you to do for the next 14 days by way of experimentation, because it's entirely possible that you were taking too much at a too concentrated dose of the stuff, and that could have upset your stomach as well.
Okay.
So, but it's possible, right?
Okay.
Sometimes we have to kind of wade into these waters slowly. I mean, I don't know if you've ever gone to a hot tub or been at a hot springs or someplace, or even if you're making a bath for yourself and you want it to get really hot. Well, a really good way to do that is to make the bath kind of warm and then get into the warm water, and that's easy to slide into the warm water. And then once your body is in the warm water, you open up the hot tap and fill the tub with hotter and hotter and hotter water, and that way you can tolerate it much better than if you just made it really, really hot and then you tried to get in it. You wouldn't be able to do it, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes it's like that with the nutritional supplements, especially the longevity supplements, because they are so chock full of nuts, man. They are just really super concentrated stuff, really super concentrated. So sometimes if we take it a little too aggressively or a little too quickly, that can upset the apple cart. So here's what I would like to see you do for the next couple of weeks, okay? All right. 1, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. I want you to do 1 level scoop of that. 1 level scoop in at least 30 ounces of water. 1 level scoop in 30 ounces of water. And I want you to take 2 hours to drink that down in the morning.
Okay.
Then I want you to do the same thing in the afternoon. 1 level scoop in at least 30 ounces of water, but you got to take 2 hours to drink it. That's the key. You got to sip from it all over the course of the morning and then sip from it over the course of the afternoon, as I am doing myself right now. So if you dilute the stuff appropriately and then sip from it slowly, you're going to be good to go. Mm-hmm. And if you do it like that, I think you're going to have a much more pleasant experience of the stuff. And then on the 3rd week, you can graduate to 2 scoops in at least 32 ounces of water twice a day. 2 scoops in at least 32 ounces of water twice a day. But when you graduate to 2 scoops, if you start to feel funky, then you want to kick it back to the 1 scoop and just hang out there for a couple of weeks. And then every once in a while, push the envelope a little bit and see whether or not you can tolerate it. Now, the essential fatty acids, did you get any of those?
The EFAs?
Yeah, the EFAs.
Yeah, I've got those too.
All right, you want to take those with a meal. Take those with a meal. I want you to do one with breakfast.
You mean as I'm eating? As
yes.
I'm eating, right?
Yeah. Eat a little bit of food, swallow one, and then finish it up. You do one of those 3 times a day. And stick with me, Bonnie. I'll finish this up for you when we come back. We're going to finish it up with Bonnie from Wisconsin, and then I have some words for the wise. Bonnie, are you still with me?
Mm-hmm, I am.
Okay, good.
Now, will this give me relief, like through the back area and down the leg? Because
if that's related to,
okay,
yeah, I mean, yes, the answer is yes, but I don't know that you have an infection. I don't know, maybe you do, maybe you don't.
Okay.
There was one more thing we need to talk about though, and that's the liquid calcium. Are you taking any of that?
I have that. The OsteoFX.
Yeah. Do you have the powder or do you have the liquid?
We have both because someone's taking the powder and I was taking the liquid.
Okay. So how much of the liquid do you take or did you stop it?
Well, I haven't been taking it lately.
Yeah. Okay. So you need to be.
But I was taking an ounce.
Oh, okay. So here's what I'd like you to get into the habit of doing, right? Because we need to, we need to tune the whole car up, not just put air in the tires, right? We need to fix the whole thing. Otherwise, we're kind of, swimming upstream.
Okay.
And that's an exercise in futility, right? Take it from someone who knows. All right. So the perfect dose of the calcium for you would be 1 ounce in an ounce or 2 of orange juice twice a day. 1 ounce of the liquid calcium in an ounce or 2 of the orange juice twice a day. And you can just throw that down. Now, what you may want to experiment with that some people find helpful is putting the ounce of the liquid calcium in with the Beyond Tangy Tangerine cocktail in the morning and then another ounce in with the second Beyond Tangy Tangerine cocktail in the afternoon. So, and sip from it slowly over the course of 2 hours. So add the calcium, 1 ounce, to the morning's cocktail of Beyond Tangy Tangerine. See if you like the taste. If you do like the taste, then continue it. If you don't like the taste, then you can separate the liquid calcium and put it in a little bit of orange juice. 1 ounce of the liquid calcium in an ounce or 2 of orange juice in the morning. You can just throw that down. And then the same thing immediately before bed. So
Before bed.
Before bed. Or, you can put the calcium in with the Beyond Tangy Tangerine cocktail and drink from it slowly over the course of the day. But you need to give your body all of this stuff on a regular basis so that your body has a leg up, pun intended, and, your body will slowly start to work things out. This back pain thing might just be that. It might be a muscular spastic thing. Mm-hmm. You might have a little bit of degenerative disc disease. You might have a little bit of arthritis in your lower back. That could be causing the stuff that you have in your abdomen. Could be an infection. It's really kind of hard to know at this point in time. You have to be regular with the program. Give your body all of the stuff it needs over the course of 3 months, really. But in the case of this, I would be quite surprised if you didn't experience a noticeable, measurable change within 72 hours. So get on board with the full boat program. Deliver it into your body in a way that's not going to upset the apple cart. Get the urinary dipstick thing checked. And if it is positive, add the homeopathic Cantheris into it. Give me a call back at the beginning of next week and let me know what happened, and I will look forward to it. The words of wisdom that I'm going to impart completely escape my mind at this moment in time. What I'd like to tell you is if you're suffering with a chronic arthritic problem, if you're attempting to support and promote healthy bone and joint function with a medical nutrition strategy, then it is my personal experience that strategy will be made more effective by the elimination of caffeine, coffee specifically, from your diet, by the elimination of coffee specifically from your diet. So stop drinking coffee while you are on board with a bone and joint support program. You can drink as much tea as you want, as much herbal tea as you want, but stay away from coffee because it interferes with the remetabolism of cartilage in your body. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, your steadfast advocate for health. Linda from Ontario is next. To stick around. Linda from Ontario, Canada is up next. Hey, Linda, thanks for the call. What's up?
Yeah, hi, Dr. Glidden. I have a friend with gallbladder issues, and she's been on what you recommended to support and promote a healthy liver for about a month now.
Great.
She had an attack a couple of weeks ago. She ended up going to the hospital, and they operated and stated that she had a buildup of sludge in the bile duct. They also said that they cut the area where the stones were getting stuck and said the stones should now pass freely. Now,
but they left the gallbladder in?
Pardon?
They left the gallbladder in?
Yep.
Oh, my God, I love Canada. I'm moving to Canada. I love Canada.
Remove it.
I love Canada. They would only do that in Canada, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
I am as serious as a heart attack because gallbladder surgery, they developed a very easy laparoscopic surgical procedure to remove the gallbladder about 10 years ago. And since they developed that procedure, medical doctors want to yank the gallbladder as much as they possibly can because it's a big ticket item for them. And it's a relatively easy surgery. Sometimes you can be in and out of the hospital on the same day. It's not even an overnight thing. Sometimes it is. But I mean, I got to tell you something. It is the rare patient who goes to an allopathic hospital with a gallbladder issue, definitive gallbladder issue, and they leave the gallbladder in, which is one more feather in the cap for Canada, which leads me to this. You ready? I'm going to take a deep breath now. Linda, take a deep breath. You ready? Oh, Canada, my home and native land. That's all I know. I got to learn the rest of it.
You got it on tune that time. That was pretty good. I was wondering if you might sing that. I wasn't sure. I think you should keep your day job, though.
I think you're right.
It's up to you.
I think you are absolutely right. So what do you want to do for this person? What do you think?
Anyway, what happened, Dr. Glidden, with this gal is past Sunday night, she ended up in Emerge again with another severe gallbladder attack.
Okay.
Spiked a fever. Her pain was constant. She couldn't even put pressure on one side. Her white cell count was high. And the doctors said they were afraid that her gallbladder might burst. So they want her to actually get her gallbladder removed this Monday.
Yeah,
and
okay.
She doesn't really want the surgery, but she hates the pain.
Okay, so here's the deal. The surgery that they did initially complicated things, weakened the gallbladder so that she was more prone to another attack, right? It's kind of like that. It's kind of like if you had a cut in your hand, a little paper cut, just a little tiny paper cut, and you squeeze lemon juice into it, it would sting like a son of a gun, right?
Yep.
But if you squeeze lemon juice onto your hand that didn't have a cut in it, there'd be no problem whatsoever. You could stick your whole hand in lemonade and let it sit in there all day, and there'd be no problem. Right. Well, when they have a surgical intervention like that, it weakens the organ system or whatever it is that they surgeried. And remember, the surgical procedure isn't taking care of the underlying problem, right?
Right.
So the underlying problem is still there. Now she's been weakened by the surgery, so she's more inclined to have another bout of it because of a direct result of the surgical procedure. So it's kind of a catch-22. And it's a little bit of a shame here because I've never known a gallbladder issue to not resolve after 90 days on the nutritional program. It takes a while for this to happen. But from our point of view, the gallbladder becomes sludgy. Well, first of all, the gallbladder's job is to concentrate bile, which is made in the liver. So the liver makes bile and it pumps it into the gallbladder and it sits in the gallbladder until you eat something. And then when the food gets to a certain part of your intestinal tract, it sends a little signal to the gallbladder to squirt some bile into the intestinal tract to facilitate the digestion process. Well, if the bile that your liver makes is funky, when the bile sits in the gallbladder, it's going to get funkier even still. It's kind of like milk that's gone bad and starts to curdle, right? So funky bile is the cause of gallbladder disease and gallstone formation too. I mean, gallstones is like extremely funky bile. I mean, it's like milk that's really curdled and, now there's big chunks of it in, right? Instead of just a liquid. It's really kind of the same process. But it all stems back to funky bile. And, well, what the heck makes funky bile? Well, not enough nutrients for proper liver function. It's that simple. Now, also, there can be an associated dehydration issue. Because if the person is not drinking enough water, or they're a teetotaler, or they drink lots of coffee, that will make their body dehydrated over time. And so if you add to a weak liver a dehydration episode, which is relatively constant and in the background, your bile is going to be even funkier still. So the problem here is that we just, she wasn't on the program for enough time in order to give her a purchase on this. Now she's in the weeds. But so there is something that she can do, however. Okay.
Good.
Maybe.
I'd really like to help her.
Yeah, I get it. I'm shooting from my hip here. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There's a type of medicine that I'm well versed in. It's called homeopathy. Mm-hmm. And homeopathy is really great for getting people on the other side of acute illnesses. Mm-hmm. The problem with homeopathy, however, is the homeopathic medicine has to be prescribed exactly. If you don't hit the bullseye, nothing's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Now, most of the time, approximating the correct homeopathic medicine requires a visit with the doctor. You have to sit down, and the doctor has to do a symptom inventory. The homeopath has to do a symptom inventory, do a homeopathic analysis, and figure out the appropriate homeopathic remedy, right? Mm-hmm. Now, we don't have time to do that now, and we don't have the ability to do that now. And when it comes to gallbladder disease, there are one or two homeopathic remedies which stand out hands above the rest and are effective most of the time to get people through the crisis. So, you need to get her on board with a homeopathic medicine called Chelidonium Majus. And here's how you spell that. C like Charlie, H like Harry, E like Edward, L like Larry, I like Indigo, D like David, O like Oscar, N like Nancy, I like Indigo, U, M like Mary. Chelidonium. Second word, Magus, M like Mary, A, J like Jasper, U, S like Sam. Magus. Chelidonium Magus. And I'd like you to find this in the 200C or the 200CK strength. 200C or 200CK strength. Now, there's a company in the U.S. called Homeopathy Overnight. You can order this from. I don't know what the deal is shipping it to Canada. Their number is 800-276-4223. 800-276-4223. Tell them, please, that you need one multi-dose tube. One multi-dose tube of Chelidonium Magus in the 200C or the 200CK strength. Now, but you got to find this by hook or by crook somehow. Maybe there's a health food store, where you live that sells it. I don't know, but you got to hunt and peck for this and find it and get it into her body.
Okay.
Sorry. Once you have the homeopathic medicine, the recommendation is 2 pellets orally twice a day. 2 pellets orally twice a day. 2 pellets in the morning, 2 pellets in the evening, and 2 pellets every 15 minutes. During an attack. 2 pellets every 15 minutes during an attack. Now,
every 15. Okay.
Until the pain goes away, and then you stop the homeopathic. Now, giving somebody a homeopathic medicine is like jump-starting a dead battery in a car. Mm-hmm. Once the engine turns over, you disconnect the cables, right? You don't just keep giving it juice. You disconnect the cables. So, once the homeopathic kicks in, if it does, and it's either going to or it's not going to, you stop giving it.
Okay.
Now, so let's say, you give her 2 doses and it works like magic and the pain goes away. She feels good. And then 2 days later, she gets another attack. Well, you take 2 more pellets every 15 minutes of the chelidonium. You do it like that.
Okay.
Okay? Now, in the meantime, she needs to get back on board the medical nutrition program with Youngevity with extra emphasis on digestive enzymes. I would like her, in a perfect world, at this stage in time, to do 2. How much does she weigh, by the way?
About 150.
Okay, I'd like her to do 3 digestive enzymes 3 times a day between meals on an empty stomach.
Times a day between meals. Okay.
Yeah, and also 2 digestive enzymes before each meal.
2 before each meal. Okay.
Now, if she takes the digestive enzyme on an empty stomach and it gives her an upset stomach, then she can eat an apple or a banana or some yogurt or something.
Okay.
Okay?
Yogurt. Okay.
In order to settle the stomach down. And if anybody eats yogurt, make sure it's full fat, not skim or 2%.
Yep.
That stuff's crap. Give her full fat yogurt with the cream on top. Okay?
Alrighty.
Okay, now, in addition to that, because this is an acute phase, right, we need to give her selenium because the liver needs selenium in order to function properly and make healthy bile. And because of the extreme nature of this, we need to intervene with, shock and awe. So it's 12 selenium a day.
12 per day. Okay.
Between meals. 12 selenium a day between meals. 4, 4, and 4. You can give that with the 3 digestive enzymes. So give 4 selenium, 3 digestive enzymes between meals. Little yogurt or little fruit if it upsets the apple cart. And, then the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, the Osteo, and the EFAs is the way that she's always done it.
Yeah, she's doing that. Yeah.
Okay. And just keep your fingers crossed. And she, have her listen to this radio show because you can go to GCN Live and listen to the recording immediately after the show's over, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I plan to do that.
Okay, because she needs to understand that really, there just wasn't enough time with this program to produce a result. And now she's compromised because of the surgery that they did. And so now we're kind of right on the razor's edge. We're walking right on the razor's edge here, and it could go either way. Okay?
Yeah.
So keep your fingers crossed. Maybe this will work.
Bladder flush is too late.
No. Do not do that.
Them.
Not on a gallbladder that's just been surgery. No.
No flushes.
No, not now. Too late.
Okay.
She could have done one before.
I figured it was too late, but I thought I better ask just in case.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like, if she had a sprained ankle, right? We wouldn't want to be massaging the ankle because it's going to hurt like hell.
Alrighty.
Right, and it's just going to kind of complicate things. So because of the surgery that she's already had, which I think is why she had the second attack. I think it was a result of the surgery, quite frankly.
Okay.
So anyway, Linda, I really appreciate what you guys do up there. I really do. Keep up the good work, and please call me back either way. Let me know how this rolls because I like to stay on top of these things. I appreciate you very much. That's how we do it, ladies and gentlemen. One person at a time, one country at a time. Go Canada. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. I am your steadfast advocate for health. Stick around. Of the informed. That's what we are, a coalition of the informed. People all around the world who are up to their eyeballs in MD, Machiavellian, monopolistic, medical, mediocre, incompetent, dangerous, expensive therapeutics. They've reached the end of their rope, baby. They are at the end of their rope, and they're looking for something to do. So, because nobody really knows how to pronounce naturopathy, let alone know what it is, what do people do? Well, they go to the internet and do a Google search, which is tantamount to trying to figure out how to fix, a cavity in your tooth on your own by doing a Google search and buying the drills and buying all the stuff and then trying to fix your tooth yourself. You wouldn't do that, would you? No, but you try to do that when you're up against asthma. You try to do that when you're up against congestive heart failure. You try to do that when you're up against insomnia. And, good for you for trying, but really a prudent person would lean on the professional whose job it is to figure this stuff out, and that's what the naturopaths are here for. That's what we do. So I and my colleagues have put together a boilerplate foundation medical nutrition health recovery protocols, and they're available on my website, The Insider, drglidden.com. Click on the link, become an insider. You have access to a ton of stuff for the ridiculously small fee of $25 a month. It's a ridiculously small fee. You better be careful because I am seriously considering upping the price in 2015. I am seriously considering it. So become an insider. You get a 7-day money-back guarantee. You don't like it, then, we'll refund your money, or we don't even charge your credit card for 7 days. I think that's how it works. So that's the deal, folks. I mean, what do you got to lose? Nothing. You've got nothing to lose, and you have everything to gain. I have over 75 individual webinars. I think it's up to 80 now. Between 75 and 80 webinars on different health topics that are available for your viewing pleasure right now. We have a couple of hours of live chat every week where you're in a chat room with hundreds of people from all over the world who are of like minds. I have a live health webinar twice a month, a live health webinar on different topics twice a month. The last one we did was on men's health. People loved it. I think we had 225 people from all around the world watching that webinar. We also have an interactive 24/7 forum where people post and answer questions, and I have questions to the most commonly asked health questions in a video format, answers to questions, most commonly asked questions in a video format. You can also, as an insider, search the radio archives for different shows in which I've talked about different subjects. It's an awesome vehicle. It's an awesome tool. It is an awesome tool. It is. No brag, just fact. No brag, just fact. So check it out. What are you waiting for? I mean, when you're sick, you're scared, you're up against it, and you're going to do whatever the knuckleheads tell you to do because you're sick and you're scared and you're up against it. So it's much better to elevate your knowledge base a priori before it gets bad. And if it's already gotten bad and you've reached the end of your rope like millions of other people, well, we have solutions. We have solutions. Science-based, clinically verified, developed and delivered by licensed physicians whose job it is to investigate the holistic method, marry the holistic method with modern scientific methods, and deliver to you therapeutics which actually work. So you don't have to figure this stuff out for yourself. We've already done the heavy lifting for you. For goodness sake, my colleague, Dr. Wallach, did $25 million of federally funded research, 26,000 autopsies, 10 million blood chemistries and histopathologies, and then parlayed that into 30 years of clinical experience, 30 plus years of clinical experience. It doesn't get any better than that. And we're giving it away. $25 a month, you got to be kidding me. Check it out, become an insider. And don't miss tomorrow's show. The father of modern day naturopathic medicine. I am choosing my words carefully. Dr. Joe Pizzorno, my exclusive guest for the first hour. Do not miss tomorrow's show. Call in well at work. Oh, I'm too healthy to come to work. I have to check out this show. I'll see you there, God willing, and the creek don't rise. I remain your steadfast advocate for health. Live long and prosper, everybody. See you around campus.